Hey guys, it's Corey Kunert, the host of Wisco Legacy. Today we're talking real estate with one of the fastest growing real estate agencies in the Greene County area. We have the owners and brokers of Exit Professional Real Estate. They have offices in Monroe and New Glarus. We have Ryan Ziltner, Jeff Maliszewski, and Lexie D Harris. This was my first time doing a multi-person episode. It was so much fun. These three just feed off each other. It was such a blast to be able to talk about their careers, the housing market, and finally Exit Professional Real Estate, why they decided to come together, some goals for the future, and talk about the growth they've experienced. They've added a bunch of agents to their staff over the last few months. They've only been open since June 1st of this year, and they've experienced a ton of growth in that time. So really excited for you guys to check this out. Let's dive right into episode 11 with Ryan, Jeff, and Lexie from Exit Professional Real Estate, right here on Wisco Legacy.
Hi, I'm Jeff Maliszewski.
Hi, I'm Lexie D Harris.
I'm Ryan Ziltner, and we're with Exit Professional Real Estate, and this is our Wisco Legacy.
Welcome to Wisco Legacy. I'm your host, Corey Kunert. On today's episode, I have Jeff, Lexie, and Ryan from Exit Professional Real Estate here in Monroe. Really excited to dive into this conversation. Exit Professional Real Estate is a newer real estate agency in the Monroe area. Really excited to talk to these guys. Welcome to Wisco Legacy.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So each of you grew up in the Greene County area. Can each of you describe your experience growing up here? Jeff, you want to start?
So I grew up in Monroe. Obviously was born, raised here. I did go to college in Menominee, Wisconsin, and at that point I told myself I would never be coming back. I am out of here. As soon as I graduated, I moved right back in with my parents and ended up buying a house in Monroe, and I'm still here. What am I, 37 years old now? So never left.
Awesome. Ryan?
I also grew up here in Monroe, Wisconsin. I grew up just outside of town in the country. I went off to Milwaukee for undergrad and grad school, and never in a million years did I dream that I would be back here. But through a series of events, I ended up back here and kind of fell into real estate on accident, but it was always a true passion, and it's what has kept me here. And yeah. So here I am at 38, and I think I moved back in 2008, maybe? Yeah, it must have been like the fall of 2008. So yeah.
Awesome. Lexie?
Well, my story is a little bit different, just in that I was born here, and then we moved to Menominee until I was about 15, and then we moved back here. And I was not happy with my parents about moving me in my middle of my freshman year, but I'm actually glad it was the best thing that they did, was bringing us back here, because I love the New Glarus area. So that's where I ended up finishing out high school. And then I did a year at Stout as well, and then came back and finished up school here, and have not left.
Awesome. Lexie and I have an interesting connection. Do you want to talk about your first transaction in real estate?
Oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to. So after I got my license, I thought, well, I should buy a house so that I knew what it was like to buy a house. So I decided to buy an investment property and a house all at the same time. So the first deal that I did, I actually bought a home from your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the house you live in now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Holly, right?
Yep.
Super cool.
Your mom's name is Holly.
Yeah.
So
Gotta get the door, excuse me.
yeah, so it was a great day. She got the house sold. I got to purchase a house as owner occupied, and then ended up having a tenant that came along with the property, who just recently moved out, and that was a 16-year run.
That's the same person the whole time?
Yeah,
That's
he moved
awesome.
there in 1980.
What?
Yeah.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah, none of us were.
Right.
No, but he's a really wonderful guy. So I just got to see him a couple days ago, and he's settled in well at his new place.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, Lexie also we used her to buy our first house. So sorry guys, we went with Lexie, but
No, it worked out because you bought a house that I had listed.
it is true.
That's right.
And you live in my neighborhood,
Yep.
so it's great.
Oh, I see you flying by, Ryan. Don't worry.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. Oh, I know. Sorry about that. Always running a little late.
It's all good.
Good connection.
Yeah. So let's talk about the early days in real estate. Working on commissions probably exciting and challenging. Jeff, you want to start us off and talk about early life in your career in real estate?
Yeah, I kind of got slapped in the face, to be honest with you. I was working for my dad at the title company, and I saw all these real estate agents coming to the closings, just sitting there, twiddling their thumbs and walking away with a check. And I'm like, well, gosh, that seems a lot more fun than what I'm doing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dive in. I'm going to get my real estate license. So I actually had my real estate license. I picked it up on a whim when I was in college. I just had some downtime, so I thought I'd get licensed. So I sat on my license for a while I was working for my dad and never utilized it. So I had my license already, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try selling real estate. So I was able to join a mom and pop type brokerage and kind of went from there. And I learned very quickly it's not as easy as all the realtors made it look at the closing table.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is 100% commission. So, of course, you don't get paid until you sell something. I also didn't realize that your people's psychiatrists, their therapists,
Adult babysitter.
right? Adult babysitter is a good word for it. You kind of get to see the deepest parts of people's personality when they're handling like the largest financial transaction that most people deal with in their life. So it was eye-opening. Obviously, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I've been doing it for 13 years now. But yeah, it's been fun.
Awesome. Ryan?
Sorry about that. My dog has really decided to join in, so she's distracting us, but we're trying to keep it professional here. No, when I started out in real estate, I also started kind of at like a smaller firm, and I was fresh out of grad school with a lot of student loans. Came out right when 2008 happened and the real estate market kind of crashed. So my master's degree of urban planning and real estate development was not super useful. But when I started doing real estate, I was fortunate enough that they let me work the front desk a little bit, but I also substitute taught. And I was like, no big deal. I feel like I was just in school recently, but I wasn't. I felt so old going back there, and it was something. But it's what got me by until I could get, my business built up and my flow going. So it was, starting out on commission is always tough.
It's a big leap for sure to dive into that and not knowing what the future holds for you.
Yeah.
Lexie?
Yeah. I also started, did we figure out maybe a year before you?
Yeah, I think so.
So everyone was still coming, in with those big checks, leaving Jeff's office with them at the title company. And then I was just getting rolling. So it'd probably be right in that 2007. Well, no, actually it would have been sooner than that. I think I was more like 2005.
I started in 2009, yeah.
Yes, okay. I was started before Ryan a bit longer than what I had originally thought there. So anyways, I did this job part-time while I also worked a full-time third shift job. So I'd sleep a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours at night. Wow. And then I would work during the day getting business ready. So I joined a team to get started. And then after a while, ended up deciding after a few years and the market had gotten a little bit better that it was time to try going out on my own. So I then just became Lexie D Harris all by myself. And then I continued to work 2 to 3 part-time jobs because let's face it, things were not selling very quickly in those days. So it was pretty challenging. Plus I also was fairly young when I started, and needed to gain more experience as well. But I just tried to learn everything that I possibly could. And then eventually, probably about 8 years ago, I was able to drop off my last part-time job and have been just going ever since.
I don't know how you would do it if you had a
crazy.
Right. Oh man, no sleep. Running all the time.
Nope.
It's gonna be tough.
But I just thought it'd be worth it. Just had to work through the challenges.
You had that future vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so each of you are pretty involved in the community. Can you talk about the importance of being involved in the community and different organizations and just being out networking with people and all that?
Yeah. Like you said, the importance of it, it's not only just for business. Like, of course, in our business, I always joke, you get paid to know people. You kind of have to make yourself famous in the community. But being involved, to me, is more than that. I mean, you grow up in Monroe, you see it. Monroe is a great place to raise a family, and the only way that can happen is if people volunteer their time. Whether it's like a 5K run to raise money for the YMCA, or if you're on Main Street to help the downtown, prosper, so you have a place to go for concert on the square. None of that stuff happens without people, and it's all volunteer hours. So, I mean, your community, your town is only going to be as nice as it can be with the volunteer help that it has. So I guess for me, it's more important for the community. But yes, as a business, it helps a volunteer too. It's just a great networking opportunity.
Good. Yeah, Ryan?
Yeah, kind of what Jeff said, it's being involved in the community is so important when you're building a business and you're getting started and stuff like that. But also it just makes a huge difference because, like Jeff said, this is the community that we have to live in. So obviously, it's the community that we're going to live in, that we're going to raise a family in, that we're, going to do everything in. So being involved is what makes sure that we've got good schools and good organizations and charities and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting because when I moved back, I was like, oh, it's this small town and nothing's going on. It's not going to be exciting or whatever. And I ended up, being involved on several boards and making a bunch of friends. And it turned out there was a lot of young professionals here, that I didn't know were here and that weren't even from here. And so it was a great way to become fulfilled both professionally and personally, which I think is important. And it's kind of funny how all things tied together as well. Like you meet this person and they serve as a great friend, and then through them you meet somebody who's a great client, and through them you meet somebody who supports your organization or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely important.
Yeah, I mean, those connections you make. I go back to my time in college. I was president of a student organization, and I met a whole bunch of people from like top level leaders in Madison through that, and I still reach out to them and have contact with them occasionally. It's pretty cool to those connections can last a long time. So, Lexie, you're the non-Monroe native.
I know.
Can you talk about the community involvement up in New Glarus there?
So I think a lot of it is very similar. Lots of the networking, and I guess the biggest thing that I've done is maybe a lot more just helping people out. And then
we don't help people out.
Well, I mean, it might not.
I help people out. They don't.
Sorry, that might have come off not exactly what I was anticipating. But I guess maybe what I'm trying to say is not as structured in how some of the things that I've done, like with helping others. I've done a lot like through church. Mm-hmm. And then also been a part of like a new thing called Adventster, which is like where we do the Advent windows.
You were involved with some community like committees and stuff as well.
I've been on the historic property committee, and then I also did another one for several years.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry.
Maybe you're not as involved as you thought.
No,
just kidding.
Anyways, so I guess that's about all I got.
Yeah, that community involvement really helps. I mean, Jeff, I think you nailed it. It's more than just the networking and the business contacts you're making. You're making a difference in the community. So that's really great. So I curious what really truly drove each one of you to real estate. Jeff, it sounds like the checks a little bit early on, maybe, but any further comments about what drove you to career in real estate?
Yeah, I mean, I was born into it. My grandpa Wally Eckham had Eckham Abstract at the time. Abstract is a way you used to record the history of property, so it was his job. He was also a surveyor on top of that. And my dad.
The sign is behind you.
Oh yeah, vote for Wally. He was also the mayor of Monroe for a while. But my dad bought the Abstract business, which then turned into a land title insurance company. So I grew up around real estate. Hear my dad talk about it. My dad had rental properties. I now have a portfolio of rental properties. It's just kind of in our blood. I mean, to be honest, even my older brother, Ryan, he's a realtor in San Francisco. Like our family's just a real estate family. So it's a perfect fit.
Awesome. Ryan?
Growing up as a little kid, I used to play with little Matchbox cars all the time. And while my friends were like building racetracks and stuff, I was drawing houses and drawing like realty businesses and real estate companies. And I always wanted to be like an architect and stuff like that. I just always had an interest in houses and stuff. And I went to college to be an architect, and it wasn't a great fit. And I kind of found urban planning and development through there. And like I said, kind of on accident circled back to real estate, but it's something I've always been interested in. It's something I've always appreciated. And, my mom has always said that from my very first report card in kindergarten, it said, talks too much, talks out of turn.
No way.
Bothers others, and stuff like that. So I think it was just like a natural thing that I would go into sales and work with, people's like biggest purchase ever in their life. So I guess kind of naturally.
Yeah. You were drawn to it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lexie, what drew you to real estate?
So in a similar fashion, when I was a kid, I couldn't wait for the newspaper to come so that I could see the houses section. So at a young age, it was intriguing to me. And then as I got older, I ended up starting off on business management and marketing, and then just decided kind of at the last second, like, I think real estate seems a little bit more of a better fit. So ended up heading down that path. And I really like helping people. That is one of my main drivers as far as why I really enjoy this, is I really do like to help people.
Yeah, I have experience with that. With all the houses you've shown my wife and I, you're always making sure you're looking at every little detail, pointing things out, making sure we're making the best decision for us. So we definitely appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question is twofold. What are some of the challenges involved in real estate that you see, and then what brings you the most joy in selling houses and being in real estate?
I mean, as a present, the biggest challenge right now is lack of inventory. That's today's standard. As a whole, the hardest part about selling real estate, I guess it's probably just managing all the people. Like I said earlier, you're kind of everybody's therapist. You see everybody's emotion through each deal, and not that it's hard. It's just every deal is different in that aspect. You could have two houses that are selling for $200,000 a piece, and each transaction will be completely different just because of the personalities that a buyer and seller have in each transaction. So I'd say that's probably the most challenging part of it, is just kind of, as Ryan would call it, being a babysitter.
Well, I imagine I'll have a quick comment and then I'll come back to that. And I imagine that people come prepared differently too. When they want houses, I know my wife and I are super prepared. We do a bunch of research. We look into all this and that. And there's probably some people out there that, hey, this house looks cool. Let's go take a look at it. And you show them a whole bunch of houses, and eventually they may find something. Eventually they don't. So that's probably fairly challenging too.
That you bring that up. A big challenge is people that don't get pre-qualified. If they have to get a loan to purchase a house, and they want to start looking at houses before they've talked to a lender, and then they find out that they just started a job, so they can't show more than a couple months of income, so now they don't qualify for a loan. You're like, okay, we just looked at 8 houses for no reason.
Yeah, that's tough. Second part of the question is, what brings you the most joy in being in, or what do you enjoy most about being in real estate?
The helping people. You get situations where a family really needs to find a house, or they're down on their luck. Maybe they had a house fire and they need to find a new place. So that brings you joy. Helping property investors, build their portfolio, and they'll come back, 5-10 years from their first purchase, and they're like, wow, Jeff, I can't thank you enough. You've got me to a level of financial stability in my life that I thought I'd never reach. So again, just kind of helping people.
Awesome. Ryan, same questions, challenges, and what brings you most joy?
I think all the answers will probably be a little bit similar, but like Jeff said, the challenges are you're working with a buyer that has their own personality and agenda, and a seller that has a personality and an agenda, and you've got to throw in a lender that you're working with. And then if you consider that you've got, 16, 17, 20 transactions all going at the same time, and they're all in different stages at the same time, you're kind of managing 35, 45 different people or parties at the same time, and keeping everyone happy and satisfied can be a little bit difficult. I always say I have the best schedule ever, and I have the worst schedule ever. And, it's because I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. But unfortunately, my clients can do whatever they want, whenever they want. So, there's a lot of times where it's 10:30 at night and you're laying in bed and you're texting with a client who, is concerned about something, or, you're up early and you're trying to send an offer from your phone as you're driving to a showing to get to a whatever type of thing. So that can kind of be the hard thing. But like Jeff said, it's just the joy. And I know that probably sounds cliche or dorky. And I always tell people, I hate the saying, you get the house you're meant to have, but it really is rewarding to see people get the house that they're meant to have. And during COVID, I actually sold some properties to a couple different doctor families and stuff. And that was actually really kind of cool to have moved a couple doctors to the neuro clinic that were going to be jumping in right away and working. And I know our clinic is definitely needing family practice doctors and PAs and stuff right now. And I'm working with a client who is finishing their residency, and they're buying a house here in Monroe because that's where they're going to be a doctor. And they're super excited about that. So it brings me joy to see people joyful, or, the single mom with 2 kids who didn't think she'd be able to afford a house or whatever. That's always really cool. And then what I like beyond that is seeing that person, when I run into them and they're involved in the community, volunteering for this or volunteering for that. It's the after that brings me joy, is seeing that they have made friends here and they're making it a better place. So for me, that's kind of the best part, I think.
That's really awesome. Lexie, same questions, challenges and joy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting over here going, well, now I'm third.
Now what?
And those are things I was going to say.
Well, one of the biggest challenges that Lexie and I are having is getting the lighting in this room correct, as you can tell. Obviously, you're working with a ring light there.
Yep.
You look really good, very clear.
And my ring light is over there, not plugged in, so that's why we look like a couple of ghosts over here.
It's all good.
So technology's been changing as we've been doing this job. So that's been,
that is a challenge.
That has been a little challenging for me, because I'm just all focused on work, and so learning new things with all the tech aspect. This is my first podcast. So this is really cool. But learning new things can be challenging. Since you guys have already kind of touched on the whole lack of inventory is really a big issue for us in today's day. And then, just making sure everyone's where they need to be. But there's always so many things to get done. And sometimes it feels like it will never, you'll never get everything crossed off your list. But I think that also is what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
So those, I guess, are my
What
challenges.
are the joys for you?
The joys, honestly, I do love seeing so happy when the timing works out and they do get that house that they were meant to have. So really, truly for me, it is helping people out. And I would say also another joy is all of the cool people that I've met along the journey, and have been able to help out. Have met a lot of really neat people throughout the years, and I'm blessed for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, being able to make all those connections, and you have repeat customers throughout the years too. That's probably pretty cool to see somebody buy their first house and then go come back to you to buy their next house and all that. So awesome.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
speaking of technology, I didn't know a podcast could have video. How old are we?
Well, this one goes on YouTube and all the podcast stuff. So the video goes up on YouTube. All right, so I'll open it up to whoever wants to answer this next question. You three all worked at different agencies before you decided to come together to start Exit Professional Real Estate here. What led to that decision?
So Jeff and I worked together when we both first started, and Jeff was actually part owner of the company that I worked at, and we were good friends, and it was a non-franchise company, and I was recruited away. Jeff calls it our breakup, and I left. And so I worked for another company for the last 5 or so years, and at different points during that time, as Jeff and I mended our broken relationship, we would, it would be me that was frustrated with something and saying, "Hey, Jeff, we should, we're having a cocktail, of course. We should, do something someday." Or Jeff, and Jeff's not super into it. Or Jeff's "Hey, Ryan, we should whatever someday," and not, I was just not in a place. And we just happened to both connect at a time on it, and kind of got our brains spinning about what was next for us in real estate and how we can. The main goal was to grow our career and what's the next step for us. And Lexie has always, we've done deals with her, and I was friends with her, and I think it was just, timing and good luck and coincidence and, God above or whatever. But she stopped over one day and was just saying how she's working on different things and getting organized and figuring out what to do and life and stuff. And I was speaking of thinking about work, you want to shake that up too? And so I mentioned what Jeff and I were doing and made her, swear to secrecy and not think I was crazy, but lucked out that she was interested. So then we kind of all started talking from there.
Yeah, that's really cool. You three together, you three are really engaging people and really awesome parts of the communities you live in, and it's really cool to see all you guys come together.
I can't say it happened.
We kind of had talked about it. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
It happened a lot faster than I thought it would. Within us kind of starting the preliminary conversation of doing something different, going off on our own, creating a new company, to just about a month later, our doors open, swinging, and we have agents following us. We have deals already in our pipeline coming together. It snowballed quickly, which has been amazing. And I'm proud. Well, I guess proud's a good word. I'm proud what the three of us have done in such a short time. And I'm excited to see where we're going. Our trajectory is pretty exciting.
And we're super, super, super fortunate to have the agents we have. They've been, the other half of this success type of situation. And the other thing that we talked about at length when we were, when this snowball is a great way to put it, Jeff, this snowball was rolling is, there were a couple people that are like, well, why do you want 3 people or why would you do 3? And we feel that we can provide the best experience for not only our clients, but our agents. And our goal is not to have the most agents of any agency or anything like that. Our goal is to have the best agents. And by having 3 different people with 3 subsets of skills and experiences, we think we can do that. I'm not a numbers person. Like, don't make me follow a budget. I hate the B word. I don't want to think about that. I just want to deal with people and plan company parties and hear about people's problems and talk. And Jeff is very intelligent with business sense and, telling me I can't use the credit card for larger company parties and keeping track of us, which is super important that way. And then we've got Lexie, who is such a rule follower and a wealth of knowledge and a resource that, anytime it's wait a second, can I do that? Or how do I do that? Or, how should I say that? It's Lexie, your picky cautiousness is such a gift to us because it's great,
Thank you.
No, it is. So I think we're all 3 valuable to the team and to our agents and to the market in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Can you talk about that growth? I mean, you guys launched in June this year, right?
June 1st.
June 1st, and you've expanded your list of agents. You have a nice office on the historic square in downtown Monroe, and just talk about the growth you've experienced. And like you said, Jeff, you didn't expect it to be this fast.
Yeah, I mean, June 1st, we not only opened our door, turned our lights on, we also signed our franchise agreement with Exit. So prior to signing that franchise agreement, you can't see any of the back office that Exit has to offer, because of course they don't want you to just steal that and go open a copycat type shop. So as of June 1st, we had a general idea of what we were doing and what Exit can offer us, but we really didn't know, because again we didn't get to see all the details of what Exit does for not only the office, the broker, but also the agent. So that was shocking, just kind of going into it okay, here we go. I don't know how you're just jumping off a cliff, basically, or yeah, that's right, the best way to do it. But it's been phenomenal. There's no regrets at all. Exit has been awesome with getting us started, the support behind us. Any question we have as far as new business goes, Exit is there for us. Even if it's not real estate related, it might be hey, we need to buy 8 desks. Where's the best place to so rather than us having to spin our wheels to find that stuff, Exit helped us through that, which is good. So as far as diving in from day one, June 1st as a business, I mean, we've gone from 0 to 100% open and operating with agents, with deals. Our volume is matching, the other brokers in the area. I mean, it's been really good on a business level. I'll let Ryan and Lexie talk about the agents and the personality, but me as the business guy, Exit has been phenomenal with helping us get to where we're at.
Great. Ryan, Lexie, talk about the agents and that side.
I was just going to say real quickly, in addition to having a Monroe office, we also have a New Glarus location. So we're underneath Toffler's right now in New Glarus. And we had our ribbon cutting with the chamber here about a month ago, guys.
Has it been already? Probably.
Nice.
Yeah. Month and a half ago. So that was really cool to get to do that event.
Yep.
The scissors are really big. I didn't realize how big they were.
We're really lucky because our growth has been, it hasn't been just new agents or just old agents or just, whatever, not old, but experienced agents. We've got, a variety of both, which I think has been great. And like Lexie said, we're really fortunate to have a New Glarus office, which Lexie kind of oversees, and there's agents that work out of New Glarus specifically, and that has been great, exposure and growth for us as well. I think what's really cool is anytime like a new business opens, there's a little bit of like scuttle and talk about it, but it has been over 6 months, and it's still like the one thing everybody wants to like ask me about, and people are still talking about it and mentioning it and stuff like that. So I think that's
How they
really,
see our signs everywhere.
yeah, like they're like, oh, I see your signs everywhere. I'm like, oh, which is great. It is really cool, and I even am entertained because I'll be like, oh, there's another one, So I think the growth has been good, and we plan to keep growing. We had a new agent sign on today that does a lot of business over in the kind of East Greene County, West Rock County kind of area, and Patrick, he joined us today, which is fantastic. He's got a lot of great experience, so I think we're going to continue to see growth. And again, we're not trying to grow to be the biggest. We're just wanting to be the best.
I think you're well on your way. I see all the social media posts from all you guys. I think I follow everybody on Facebook at least. And can you talk about the importance of social media for the brand and the company and real estate in general?
Yeah, I think just kind of like Lexie had mentioned, technology is becoming so important. And so the social media aspect of it really everybody's staring at their phone or their tablet all the time, whether they're at work or school or home or whatever. And it's a matter of keeping in front of them in a tasteful way, in a way that, is engaging and people enjoy. It's not just posting a bunch of crap or spam or whatever. And, even we had a fundraiser this past weekend, and we brought Santa Claus to downtown to take pictures with people's dogs, and we raised money for the Humane Society. And, even just putting that on social media, there were thousands of views. And again, it gets back to that gives us exposure, but it also does good for the community, for the Humane Society, which does good for the community. And it all kind of comes around. It's funny because I think the three of us do a good job of staying pretty relevant and present. And I've seen some of our competitors all of a sudden getting, a little bit more social media present. And it's kind of entertaining because I think they're probably doing it to keep up with us, which is a great compliment to us. But yeah, social media is fun too. It really is. Yeah. Shooting a video here or there, grabbing a picture, it's good.
The times are changing. Like the day where you used to open up, the back page of the newspaper and you'd see the 12 houses for sale. You'd see the agent's number on the bottom of that house list, and you have to call, set up your appointment. Like that doesn't happen anymore. Now it's a direct contact from your Facebook post. Like, hey, I just listed this. It shows, 4 or 5 pictures to spark their interest, and they contact you privately to go see it. Same thing with like Zillow and Realtor. The amount of photos you can put online now to sell a house almost sells the house before people walk through it. If they don't like the photos online, they're not going to come see it. Where back in the day, they'd see one picture in the newspaper and be like, let's go take a Sunday drive and check it out. I also think kind of in the same vein, that's why you don't see as many open houses anymore with the virtual tours and walkthroughs. I don't know if you've ever done like one of those 3D walkthrough tours that's offered now. It's convenient. I mean, people can sit on their couch and basically walk through a house that's for sale without even walking through, physically walking through the front door.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, it definitely is cool. I think another thing is, you like you and your wife when you were looking for houses. I mean, you spend time going through houses, and the person showing them to you, like you need to trust, you need to like, you need to relate to, which obviously you did. You had one of the best, but social media gives you an opportunity to kind of see that agent and see that you relate to them or you like them or you get a good feeling from them. It's like, it was really funny. I was showing I had a pretty large house for our area listed, pretty pricey. And I had shown it to some people a couple times, and, it had kind of fizzled out. And I posted a picture of my dog, the golden retriever you saw, on a showing with me at a different property. And literally, these people like commented like, "Oh, so cool," and whatever. And 2 days later, they called me. They requested to go see that property again, and they requested that I bring my dog with me, just because like their family is into golden retrievers and stuff. And they spent like an hour at the house, and they requested that I just let my dog loose with them to hang out. And they ended up buying this, $700 some $1,000 house. But it's like social media that put that like subliminal reminder in their mind that they could check in with me, and gave them the cute picture of the dog to like, make them give a second thought or a third thought. So social media is a great tool. It really is. And Lexie just had a great listing, and isn't it on some like Instagram channel or something?
Oh, we
That
did.
farmhouse.
I think we got on for the love of old houses.
Yeah.
We ended up getting onto their page
Nice.
and a ton of likes.
Yeah.
Huh. That's awesome. Ryan, I hope you got your dog some sort of treat or toy or something for that commission.
She's been paid well.
That's good. So the housing market, we talked a little bit about that earlier, but right now there's not a lot of houses going on the market, and when they do, they're going really quickly. You have people, I'm sure, with less contingencies than they've had in a long time. I've heard of people forgoing inspections and things like that. Anybody want to talk about the current housing market right now?
Lexie?
It's really tight. You're right. We need more houses. We need more rentals. We need built like new construction. We need lots, land. It's tough.
Lexie is our legal eagle and our contract person and everything. So when you've got people saying, "Oh, I really want that house. I don't need an inspection. It's fine. Just cross it off." You've got Lexie going, "Ah!" But yeah, people. I've had people. We've all had people writing letters to the sellers. We've had people foregoing inspections. We've had people giving crazy dollar amount offers. This hasn't happened to me, but I heard in Madison a little bit. In the listing, if it said offers are due Thursday at 5 p.m., to be reviewed or whatever. I heard of buyers like sending pizza to the sellers' houses on Thursday at 5 p.m. to say like, enjoy dinner while you review our offers. I hope you consider us, like that type of thing. So yeah, people are getting creative. But
The driver of all this, though, and Ryan and Lexi, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, or maybe you have your own opinion on it. But as long as interest rates stay low, our housing prices are going to stay high, and there's buyers out there wanting to buy, so that's going to keep our inventory low as well. There's always people trying to predict like, oh, there's going to be a housing crash. The market's going to crash. Don't buy now. Wait till next year. Wait 6 months. I honestly don't see that happening anytime soon, unless something crazy happens with interest rates. As soon as interest rates go up maybe 2 points, 3 points, we will see this whole market completely flip and change. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. I always say like the best, as a property investor myself, the best time to buy a house is now. I don't care if the market's high or low. Real estate historically has always gained value. Yes, you have some peaks and valleys, but on a constant trend, it's always gaining value. So I guess why wait? Maybe you didn't hit the jackpot buying at a high time and the value dropped a little bit, but 5 years from now, it's going to be right back up there. I mean, if you look at the 2008 era where we had that big housing crash, we're already back to those numbers and surpassed them. So if you're willing just to kind of wait out the storm, like you're back on top and gaining money. So again, if anybody has hesitation for buying a personal home or investment property, like do it now. There's no better time.
I think along with that, nobody has a crystal ball, and there's people that, I had people in 2019 say, you must think I'm dumb if you think I'm going to pay this price in 2019. These prices are not going to stay here. This is way too high. And they didn't, and now they regret it. And I've got the same people that bought properties different people that bought properties in 2019 and they're selling them for, you know, 50, 60, $70,000 more, and they didn't even have to do anything to it. You know, so it's like there's no crystal ball, no way to know. I think the low interest rates, like Jeff said, are definitely a factor in that. The two things that I think of, like one thing I read is that the reason in 2008 that we had such a housing crash is because two things happened. We had an economic event and we had a lot of bad loans.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, even if we would have an economic event, which knock on wood, you know, it's not right now, hopefully, the bad loans aren't there. So the fallout or crash, as people say, wouldn't be as bad as 2008. I think the other thing is just inventory is definitely driving the prices. And when people ask me about that, I just say, like, number one, inventory is not a problem that is fixed quickly. You know, you can't just build hundreds or thousands of homes super fast. And with building costs, like the average middle class family, the days of building like your $250,000 house on a little lot are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone can afford a $400,000 house. But in the late 90s and early 2000s, building was very affordable and houses were popping up like crazy, and we were keeping our inventory up with demand. And then 2008 happened. There was no building in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Really, it kind of started getting slow. And then we had like fires in California, which drove up lumber prices, and hurricanes or whatever in Costa Rica, which drove up steel prices. So building costs went up and building kind of slowed again. And then in like 16, 17, 18, 19, it was ramping up again a little bit. And then we got to COVID, and, you know, then prices of building went up again. So we missed out on all those years of building, or we had all those years of slow building, but the population still aged at the same rate. Like the same number of people got out of college and got jobs and wanted to buy their first house. The same number of you and your wives like wanted to get your first house with a fence and a dog and kids. And the same number of people were getting raises and upgrading, and the same number of people were divorcing and going from one household to two. So all these things were happening, but the inventory didn't keep up with it. And I don't see us correcting that extremely quickly.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that stuff. And I think I've done some research into the housing market too. I'm super interested in real estate. I'm on Zillow and all that stuff all the time. But the market is much different than it was in 2008 too. I feel like back then there was a lot more of those balloon type rates, and you know there's a lot more fixed rates right now. So you're not going to have huge spikes in those. So that'll help a lot too. But yeah, the low inventory is certainly challenging. My wife and I have been, you know, looking for houses for a few years now. We have 2 kids, 2 labs in our house, and just not enough room for that. But it's really hard. It's really hard to find that. And even lots, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jeff, I think my brother might've bought the last city lot in Monroe a few weeks ago.
The last residential buildable city lot that's on the market for sale was bought. So if somebody wants to build a house in the city of Monroe right now, they're kind of out of luck until somebody creates a development, or we start tearing down some older homes that probably should be tore down. But yeah, until that starts happening, nobody can build a house in the city of Monroe. And I think Ryan and I both attended a meeting last week, and it talked about the housing crisis going on in Greene County right now. And don't quote me on these numbers; I'll just give rough numbers. But if our current economic status and population stays the same in the city of Monroe, we are behind by 500 houses. We need 500 houses by 2030. For Greene County, we need over 2,000 houses by 2030, just to cover the demand that we currently have. So if another large employer comes to our area, I mean, how are they going to house their employees? So what that means is another large employer is not coming to our area. I really hope that our city officials and county officials realize this and try to find a solution sooner than later.
I think they said Monroe needs just over like 500. New Glarus needs 80 some houses, and Monticello needed 50 some or something. And those numbers don't sound huge, but to put 80 homes in New Glarus in the next, 8 years, that's probably not whatever. And 500 in Monroe is even crazier. I had somebody the other day say to me like, "Oh, well, they heard Jeff say that all of the, the last city lot sold," which is true. Like, "Oh, well, there's all those subdivisions and all those lots." But what's funny is there really aren't that many of those anymore either. I just sold the last lot in the subdivision just south of Monroe. Jeff just sold all the lots in the subdivision north of Monroe. Another subdivision north of Monroe. All but like 2 or 3 are sold. So that's really not the case anymore either. So
It's pretty wild.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the future goals for Exit Professional Real Estate? What are you guys hoping to do in the future?
Well, I think our goal is that we would like to continue to grow. We'd like to take on, more agents, but again, we're looking to take on the best agents, not just a lot of agents. I think that we want to continue training and technology and support for the agents we have. We want not just our company to grow, but we want our agents to grow. It's really important to us that our agents be successful. Maybe there's another office location for us down the road or some more agents. Lexie,
Good culture.
Yeah.
Just taking good care of people that we have.
Like Jeff said, we literally turned on the lights and swung the door open. So, another goal of ours is just growth and being established, having our we want to run like a fine oiled machine or a well oiled machine.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, just continue serving our clients and getting our name out there, I think.
Awesome. Good goals. Jeff, or the wheels look like they were turning there.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same.
It's just kind of all the same thing Ryan talked about, but it's all encompassed. It's better is better. Bigger, not necessarily, is better. So like Ryan said, definitely our goal is to build our agents, the current ones we have, and bring on some new ones, of course. But we don't just want anybody. We want to make sure our agents are representing their clients the best they can. So I guess for me, as far as goals go, is just build the best office. It doesn't mean the biggest office. I want to make sure every client that comes to our door, calls our phone, is getting exactly what they're expecting.
Good.
I think part of that too, like Lexie mentioned a little bit, the like that fit in with our culture, like grow our culture, and we want people that are proud of us and that we're proud of, and we want people that our agents get along with and feel like family with and stuff like that. So that Lexie can teach all the important legal stuff too as well.
And go axe throwing with every once in a while.
We just took our agents axe throwing,
Nice.
which was pretty fun.
I haven't done that yet, but it looks like a lot of fun.
It's harder than it
will
looks.
teach you.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have to get a rhythm to it.
Huh. Well,
There's different ways that you can do it like one hand or two, but yeah, let's go do it. It'll be fun.
sounds good. Last question here, and then I got some rapid fire questions and a final question. So not the last question, but how can the community support you and Exit Professional Real Estate?
Well, they did a really awesome job when we did this first Santa Pause just this last Saturday. We had, I thought, really nice turnout with people coming down and supporting us with that event, and then also the Humane Society. That's just one example.
Yeah, I think the community can support us by, just continuing the excitement. And I think every small business and locally owned business should always be building each other up and, giving compliments. And if they have good service with us, they should tell people about it. Just like if I have good service with someone, I tell people about it. And it's all, a matter of camaraderie and building each other up and support. And of course, use us to buy and sell their properties. But yeah.
I always say the best compliment is a referral. So tell your friends and family about us. Let them know what we stand for and what we're doing.
Awesome. All right, so I have a couple more fun questions here. I always end with some rapid fire questions and then one final question. But rapid fire questions, I have 3 of them. We'll go around the horn. Jeff, we'll start off first question with you. What's your favorite restaurant in Wisconsin?
Ooh, in Wisconsin, I would say Ishnala in the Dells.
You're an old-fashioned guy?
I am an old-fashioned and a big juicy steak. Sign me up.
There you go. Ryan?
The Del Bar.
I was going to say that.
Well, you can say it too.
Looks like you guys need to have a road trip up to the Dells, huh?
We were just there for a conference,
Nice.
actually.
Nice.
And it was my first time at the Del Bar, and it was awesome. I loved it.
Nice. I have never been there, but I've heard a lot of awesome things.
Do give it a try.
Awesome. Anything in Greene County? Any restaurants that stick out around here?
Love the Glarner Stube
Yeah.
in Greene County. Lexie and I had a Bullets Pizza tonight.
Nice.
It's really good.
Yeah, Twin Grove Stage Stop, or is it Stagecoach?
Oh, I ate there Friday.
Yeah, they got good fish fry. They also have really good pizza. It's just it's a small hidden gem.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Ooh, I need to try that out too.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Jeff, what's your favorite event in Wisconsin?
I think I'd get slapped if I didn't say cheese days.
It's a pretty common answer around here, yeah. Why cheese days?
One, it's like a class reunion, right? Everybody that you haven't seen in years is back for cheese days, visiting family. Of course, it's over cocktails and cheese curds. Like, what else can you ask for?
Right. Ryan?
That's so tough.
I know.
There's a lot of them. I don't know what to say.
There are a lot of good ones.
I don't know. I've been playing in some hockey tournaments. That's been fun. I mean, of course, cheese days is fantastic. I don't know. I loved going to Summerfest back in the day. It's also weird. COVID has me out of the mindset.
I know.
of
I'm like,
events right now. Summerfest was always a great Wisconsin thing. I'm not cheese days. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Oktoberfest in La Crosse, but again, back
or
in
New
the-
Glarus.
Yeah, I used to go to the one when I was young and didn't get hungover in La Crosse. Now I would not fare well, but those all good events. New Glarus for you, Oktoberfest.
I always enjoy Oktoberfest. And one I've never gone to, but I want to go to that. They have like that country music thing in the field by Sun Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That sounds fun.
Do you know another one that I've heard of? I love going up to Rhinelander, and they have the Hodag Festival.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go to that.
Which is huge and popular. And I was up there during Hodag this summer, but I didn't go. But when I was out on the boat, I kept hearing about it on the radio. So that's something I would check out.
Nice. All right, last rapid fire question here. Let's start with you, Jeff. Where's your favorite place to hang out in Wisconsin?
Favorite place to hang out? There's a couple. I mean, I'm a member of Argyle Rod and Gun Club, which sounds a little hokey, but it's just a good old boys place to hang out. And I'm also a curling nerd, so the Alpine Curling Club in Monroe I spend a lot of time there as well.
Nice.
I don't sound too diverse. I don't get out. I don't get out of Greene County too often.
That's all good. I'm guessing this next one, I think, Ryan, yours probably involves a boat, if I would have to guess here.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the Wisconsin lakes, like Castle Rock and stuff. I would say that I have been skeptical about people who tell me they drive up north to
I knew you were
Northwoods.
going to take mine.
No, it's different. Just wait. And they tell me they go up to Tomahawk and Rhinelander and Minocqua and all these places. And I've always been like, there's no way driving, 5 hours or 4 hours to go to one place. But in the last 2 or 3 years, I discovered Rhinelander, and I absolutely love Rhinelander. So that's great. But the Dells always holds a nostalgic place in my heart. And not just like the smell of out in the country in the Dells or something. I don't know. I don't know, but Castle Rock, the Dells, Rhinelander, Capitol Ice Arena in Madison. Those are mine.
Wow, a lot of places. Lexi, how about you?
Well, I was gonna say up north is like one of my absolute favorite places to go. I love to snowmobile, and boating up there is fun too. Hiking, and just it's the air smells so good.
How far are you up north? Where do you go?
Up past like Boulder Junction, so
Yeah.
like it's like 4.5 hours. Our cabin is from here. But campfires smell amazing up there too. And here, I would have to say, one of my favorite places in Wisconsin is on our family farm outside of New Glarus, Monticello area. So I love just taking the views in out there and feel super blessed to get to have a place like that to hang out.
And what are you doing there this weekend?
Just sitting in a tree stand, that's all.
Going out to
Nothing
a
to
tree.
see here.
Going out to a tree stand at a crazy hour in the morning.
Oh,
I'm just
nice.
going to be in nature. That's
Yeah,
all. Taking in nature.
There you go.
Taking out.
we're hoping.
Taking out nature.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh,
We're
Just
hoping-
watching nature.
we're hoping that she will turn her phone off and actually take a little real estate break when she's in her tree stand.
Yeah.
So
I'll try not to.
Lexi's dedicated. Anybody working with Lexi is lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off. What was that?
No, I just made a snide comment towards Lexi's taking out.
Thanks for talking over him.
Oh, nice. All right. So I have one final question for each one of you. I ask everybody on the podcast this. It kind of ties back into the Wisco Legacy concept. So we talked about Wisconsin. Now we want to talk about legacy. We'll start with you, Jeff. When all is said and done, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Hopefully, just that I made my family and community proud. I don't need my name on a building or even on a park bench. But it would be nice that at some point after my demise, somebody says, "Oh yeah, remember when Jeff did this for us."
Awesome. Ryan?
I was chuckling just because there's a sign behind you with somebody's name on it. I don't need something like a sign. Also, demise sounds like something rough happened. My legacy to leave behind would be, I want my name on every part. No, I'm kidding. Just leaving a nice life behind for my family, whether that's my significant other, if I have kids someday, or my niece and nephew and sister. But I think just a legacy of someone that loved where they were and is just finally remembered. And I think that leaving them with good memories in these different places, like I say, I loved all these places in Wisconsin. I want the legacy of like funny and happy memories in those places.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Lexi?
Yeah, this is such a great question. Again, with this being a quick question, my thought process is at the moment that I'd like to leave a legacy that my family is proud of me and is well taken care of. But I also would like to have left an imprint on other people and taken good care of other people so that, when all is said and done, that it was a life well lived.
Awesome.
So if, as Jeff said, Lexi meets her demise, Corey, you'll always remember because you bought your house from Lexi.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add, or we're ready to wrap up here?
No, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
This was fun. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I'm excited to listen to it and check out your other ones as well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Your questions are intriguing. It makes me think. Like I've never even thought about the questions that you asked. So just hearing myself say it out loud, it's interesting. So thank you.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the time you guys took here today. Thanks for joining Wisco Legacy.